You see, my mom from Bessemer, Alabama, would physically assault you at Sunday school, Easter service, Christmas morning. She would fight you. And growing up, this is a safe place, right? We're all besties here. Like, we all love each other. Let's be real. I want a real question, okay? Who in here has ever had their ass beat? And I'm not talking about like your mom like popped your butt because you got in trouble at school. I'm talking about you fucked somebody's husband and that bitch beat your ass. Like, that's what anybody in here, I mean, you don't have to, you know, it could have been for something else, but anybody ever got drugged? Thank you for your honesty. This is how you don't let that happen. So what my mom would do, when someone would come up to her, she would take her hand and she would grab them by the back of the head and she would twist. And they would be like this. From there, she would pull down, because a bitch down here can't do nothing. And as they were down there, she would walk backwards. Because you got to put some ass into it, right? So they can't do nothing. And she would take her other hand, and as she had them down here, she would take her hand, she would say, bitch, bitch, bitch. Then you pull your motherfucking Spanx up. And this is what my mother did all the time. And I saw a thing on Facebook the other day, and it said, I bet none of you remember your 4th grade teacher's name. I said, yes, I do. Because my mama beat her ass in a parent-teacher conference. And it was my fault, y'all. It was my fault. Because I was pretending to smoke a cigarette with a Cheeto. Now look, do y'all know when you're in school, if you're good, you get like a little green sticker, you get to pick out the treasure box, you know, whatever, right? If you're bad, you get put on red, right? You have to move your little clip, put on red. So I got put on red this day. Bitch, I was puffing on my motherfucking Cheeto. And I would share it with my friends. You need a hit? Now, I knew that she was gonna beat my motherfucking ass. So what do you do when you know you're gonna get your motherfucking ass beat? You lie. You know, like the type of cry that you have to do to get your mom to believe you? You know, the type that you really gotta use your diaphragm and you almost throw up on yourself and pass out all at the same time? You know what I'm talking about? So that's what I did. I went home and I took my planner and I looked at my mom. And I would peek my one little eye and make sure she was still watching. And then I just let her have it. I said, and my mama looked at me and she's like, what is wrong with you? And then I really give it to her. I said, oh my God, I got put on red today. She's like, what? I said, I put on red today. She said, baby, what is wrong with you? I said, I got put on red today. She said, what did you do? And she took my planner and she opened it. She said, did you pretend to smoke a cigarette with a Cheeto? I said, no. That white lady don't like me. And she takes my planner and she writes back to my teacher, Matt did not pretend to smoke a cigarette with a Cheeto and did not deserve to be put on red. Mind you, in the 4th grade, I'm the same bitch I am today, just a little bit smaller. So I went to school, and I went into class that day, feeling just a little extra confident because I knew I didn't get in trouble. And I said, I didn't get in trouble, bitch. And she snatched my planner out of my hand, and she said, Mathews, you did pretend to smoke a cigarette with a Cheeto and you admitted it to me. I said, yeah, you right. So she writes back, I want to have a parent-teacher conference. I said, look, lady, you don't want to do that. I learned my lesson, you learn your lesson. I'll do you one better, bitch. I won't ever even bring a bag of Cheetos in this motherfucker again. How about that? And I take my planner home and I said, Mom, she wants to have a parent-teacher conference with you. My mother looked at me and said one word, bet. Now, the day of the conference comes. My mother worked at Waffle House. And she would walk back and forth from her shift to Waffle House. And the conference came, and she walks into our apartment, and I find her in our bathroom like this. As she pulled up her hot pink coochie cutter shorts that said juicy bedazzled across the back. She put on her white wife beater tank top from Walmart and slid on her Dollar General slides. And to the conference we went. Now we get to the conference, y'all, and my teacher sat here, my mom sat beside her, my principal was on the other side of the desk, and I sat in the back of the room just crying. Because I knew what was coming. My teacher spoke, and my mom goes to speak, and my teacher put her finger in my mom's face. And she said, shh. Now I see where Matt gets his disrespect from. If you would have just shut the fuck up. I have never in my life seen my mother calm or collected, and she calmly and collectively pushed herself away from the desk. She put her fake Louis Vuitton on the floor. She grabbed my teacher by the back of her head and pulled her over the chair. This bitch looked like she came out the Matrix. She said, and as my teacher flew across the room, my mama just went in on her. And to her jail cell she went.